Well, I think engineering itself is all about creativity. Without creativity, it's impossible to come up with innovative solutions to existing problems. You can only repeat yourself or others without creativity. So it's essential for engineers.
I think we need to teach creativity to engineers because the creative process is very important for engineering courses, and also engineering for important for engineering designs. It helps us to analyze and find the best solutions for best engineering designs, and it helps us to analyze the problems. So it helps us to solve problems related with engineering.
Yes, I think I'm not an engineer for myself. So my father was one, so I know a bit about them and how they think. And I think that engineering in general is the same as social science, is very based on facts, on models, etc. So a perfect solution from an expert's perspective. But most of the products engineers are developing are not used by the engineers, but by the experts, but they're embedded in a context of ordinary users. And I think it's for engineers is so helpful to get an idea of this perspective at a very early stage of the development process. So I think the creative knowledge, also the knowledge of the engineers, is really important to find the best solution and efficient ones, and one things which are easy to produce and to create. But on the other hand, they lack a bit of these market fit. And I think this gap could be closed if you apply creativity methodology from the very beginning, so that they get a better understanding in what kind of context their products are embedded, and in which way they can add features or remove features to increase the fit between their idea and the things which are happening outside.
There is a tendency, what we would always find with engineers, and I think it's in human nature, that especially with our students that are online, they're already in industry working. They're already used to norms that have taken place from their own experience. And what happens is when they come across problems, they tend to go back into that normal behavior that they're used to and that they're accustomed to, rather than thinking outside the box, embracing maybe more disruptive technologies that would really change how they're going to do something and how to do it in a very structured way. Then it empowers our students to bring new technology and embrace new technology into their existing organizations. If we don't teach them, they'll just end up recycling what's already there. And that, if you like, prohibits their company from developing, from changing, from being more competitive.
I think engineers really need this because that's going to be their future job. When we know that all the tasks that are manual and can taken over by robots and so on, they will be taken over by robots or by machines, whatever sort of devices. There will be new jobs, and these new jobs will relate to decision making, to management, and to all sorts of creative activities, because that's what machines, at least at this point in time, cannot do. And that's all important tasks then in an engineering career. So that's what they really need to know about.
Actually, for the engineers, they always need to think in a different way, especially more creative. This begins with their education time. They need to solve the problems. They need to create and design many different things. They should design many different things or subjects or ideas. So creativity is a must for the engineers in their professional lives. Who thinks more creative gets a better life for them.
Engineers and creativity, we're no different to why do we need to teach business students about creativity? Why do we need to teach anyone about it? There's a process to it, and stages that you need to be aware of. Engineers might jump into the brainstorming and piece straight away and coming up with solutions. Whereas in reality, you should be looking at, well, what is the problem we're trying to address and validating that. So I think we need to teach all students about creativity and the steps involved, the pitfalls, what you need to, what are the key aspects to do, and then what are the tools to support it. So I think engineers are no different to anyone else. And So we do need to teach students about creativity.
I think engineers bring a technical mindset, and what creativity does is it from our perspective in the design space, it brings the human centricity back into the problem you're trying to solve. We all have varying degrees of that. So the approach we take is to bring everybody to that same place where, yes, the technical skills are really, really important, but you need to empathize and understand the user. You maybe need a business model in there. So I think engineers, all students, all professionals, I think should have an element of creativity introduced while they're studying and then into their professional careers, just to keep them creative, to keep them confident in the creativity process, and to kind of look for different ways to solve problems.
Also per se würde ich gleich mal betonen, dass ich auch absolut denke, dass eben Studierende aus technischen Studiengängen genauso kreativ sind, also über genau das gleiche Potenzial vielleicht verfügen, vielleicht das durch gewisse Methoden nicht so abrufen können, wie eben Studierende, die eher aus diesen Bereichen kommen, die das auch eher in der Lehre verankert haben. Und warum das wichtig ist, ich denke, das wird einfach nochmal auf der kognitiven Ebene etwas anderes in ihnen bewirken. Viele technische Studiengänge haben ja auch diesen Bezug zum Händischen, dass man auch mit der Hand physisch etwas macht, und das ist durchaus auch sehr sinnvoll, weil dadurch auch irgendwie Dinge noch ganz anders begriffen werden. Man greift gewisse Dinge auch, macht Dinge, aber diese Kreativitätsmethoden, die regen ja wirklich auf der kognitiven Ebene was an. Andere Bereiche, die vielleicht über dieses vielleicht geregelte, strukturierte, was man sich so bei technischen Studiengängen vorstellt, darüber hinausgehen und vielleicht auch den Rahmen ein bisschen sprengen.
Ja, weil technische Studiengänge nicht mehr standardisiert ablaufen können und weil die Menschen, die dann nach dem Studium ins Berufsleben gehen, nicht von dem leben können, was sie im Studium gelernt haben. Deshalb ist es wichtig, im Studium exemplarisch zu lernen, anhand von Beispielen, anhand von Aufgabenstellungen, sodass ich dann im Berufsleben bei neuen Herausforderungen Strategien habe, wie ich mit diesen Herausforderungen umgehen muss und umgehen kann. Und das Ganze hat natürlich auch was mit dem lebenslangen Lernen oder lebensbegleitenden Lernen zu tun. Ich kann nicht mehr auf Halde lernen, so nach dem Motto, ich habe jetzt einen Abschluss in irgendeinem Fach und damit kann ich jetzt für den Rest meines Lebens weitermachen. Das funktioniert nicht mehr, sondern es ist ganz wichtig, dass ich eben mehr kompetenzorientiert gearbeitet habe, exemplarisch, dass ich Dinge weiß. Ich muss die nicht alle auswendig lernen, aber ich muss wissen, dass es sie gibt. Und deshalb denke ich, ist es auch wichtig, da Kreativität zuzulassen und auch über die Lehre nochmal nachzudenken, weil ich denke, eine Vorlesung mit einer Klausur am Ende ist nicht unbedingt eine gute Vorbereitung auf das Berufsleben im 21. Jahrhundert, auch wenn manche Leute das noch so sehen und die Illusion haben, ich fülle die Leute ab und dann können die damit arbeiten. Viele Firmen sagen mir immer wieder, die Absolventen, die müssen wir erstmal schulen. Die können wir nicht einfach so übernehmen. Wobei das für den Studiengang Informationsdesign jetzt nicht so zutrifft. Bei anderen Studiengängen weiß ich es nicht. Ich kann es jetzt nicht pauschal sagen, aber tendenziell denke ich, je mehr kreatives Arbeiten, Projektarbeiten, selbstgesteuertes Arbeiten im Studium zugelassen wurde, umso besser sind die Leute dann auch vorbereitet mit ihren Kompetenzen für das Berufsleben.